guys kind of compartmentalizing this game tomorrow and before, trying to focus on 2 games this week?
Yeah, well, going into the week, we knew we had 3 games that were all very important. Every game was a must-win. We took a big step, obviously, in the league, winning that last game. And because of results, now we control our destiny there. If we win that last league game, then we're in. That game's on the weekend. We have a very important game, arguably the most important game in club history tomorrow, because it would give us the chance to make history, to be the first team to get out of the group stages. We've not done that before as a club, and that would put us obviously in the knockout stages next year. So what I can tell you is we will put out the strongest lineup that we have healthy and available to win the game tomorrow.
Obviously, you guys didn't advance in 2014. That was a tougher last game. It was on the road. But what did you take away from that miss in 2014 to be able to hopefully get in a better situation this time around?
Well, I think, first time in it, you're figuring out the rotation, and ultimately, this time around, I think you've seen in the lineups that there's been more of a priority on getting out. And like I said, we're going to play the strongest group we have healthy and available tomorrow. So that means the group that we feel is the top group that's healthy will play. Obviously, we're managing some things with Adi suspended, so we can't start Adi. So there's one guy there. And then obviously Valeri didn't train today, Jack Jewsbury didn't train today, so we don't know if they're going to be healthy. If they're healthy, they're in. If they're not healthy, we can't play them. So then obviously we have to put some other guys in there. But we want to win this game tomorrow, more than anything. And there's no priority on the league over Champions League. And there wasn't a priority on the league over Champions League last time. We did what we felt we needed to win both those games. It didn't go that way, the way we wanted last time. But what I would say is this time around, no one can say that we're not prioritizing the Champions League, because we will be putting out the best lineup that we have available and healthy. But we do have some guys that are injured.
What is Valeri and Jack's exact injuries, and if they can't play tomorrow, do you expect them to be good for Sunday?
Well, they can't play tomorrow, then no idea if they'll be available for Sunday, because it's only a few days after that. What I can tell you is they didn't train today, so that means most likely it'll be very difficult if they can't train today for them to be able to play in a game. If something changes tomorrow, then obviously they'll be in the lineup, because we'd always planned in this game to play our very best lineup that we have in all 3 games. But obviously we have a few things where our hands are forced with injuries, Adi suspension, and then obviously in the 3rd game, Chara and Ridgie being out. So the plan was to play the top lineup every single game, even if that meant the same guys played all 3 games. But for tomorrow, we're going to be managing a few things, but it's not because of decisions or rotation. It's because we have to manage those things, and our hands are forced.
2 elimination games, 2 tournaments, 1 week. Is this a coach's dream or a coach's nightmare?
For me, I love it. I said that before the last game. I love when you know what you need to do, and a lot of people think that this is when the pressure is the highest. I think it's when the purpose is the highest and the greatest. I like it when the purpose is there. Sometimes in Game 6, in the regular season, you don't always see that connection to the postseason and that connection to trophies. And it's great to know now what we need to do, and we've basically set up those last 2 games where we can accomplish our goal of getting in the playoffs and our goal of getting out of Champions League. And I think for me that's great to know. It's great to know that we control what happens here in the next 2 games, and if we don't get the job done, then we only have ourselves to blame. We're not relying on results. We're not relying on anything other than us getting the job done, and I like it when it's that way. I think we've proven in those situations time and again that we're a very good team in those situations. Obviously, when we've been in the playoffs in 2 years, we've been very good in the playoffs, in those knockout games, and that's the mindset right now. Playoffs started before last game, and we won the last game, we advance. And, we're basically in a cup final tomorrow, and if we win it, we advance to the knockout next year, which is very exciting, and that's why we're not going to take it lightly this time around, and we're going to make sure that we get the job done. I would like to have obviously Adi in the lineup and Valeri in the lineup and Jack Dewsbury in the lineup though.
What does it mean for you as a coach if you guys are able to advance for the first time?
I think it's massive. I mean, it's huge. You know, obviously not every team gets in it. We've earned the right to be in it twice, which is big for the club. We were excited first time around. We played well in the 3 games leading into the last game. We didn't get the job done in the last game in a very difficult environment. This time around, obviously we know because we missed out on it, in 14. We know that it's not easy to get in, and you got to earn your right to get in, and we've taken it very seriously. We've played, top lineups in every game, and we'll play our strongest lineup we have available tomorrow to win the game. We're not looking at Vancouver at all right now. We're going to take each game as it comes, and we know, like I said, we have Reggie and Chara out the next game. We know Adi's out this game. We don't know if Valeri or Jack Dewsbury are going to be available for either game. Ben Zemanski's the same. So those are things you have to manage. But you'll see tomorrow, and you'll look through the guys that are healthy, and you'll see this is the top group we have healthy.
Darren Maddox okay?
Darren Maddox is okay, yeah. Can't start 2 games in a row, though.
What's it like? You talked about the suspension. What's it like in that game in Colorado? You win the game, that's your priority, but then afterward you got to sit back and realize 2 of your best defenders are now suspended.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at this stage with what we've been through over 9.5 months in this season, there's no surprises anymore. I mean, I've never in 9.5 months of a season seen what I've seen, and so it's kind of one of those. Okay, this isn't anything new we've dealt with this year, so we just have to continue to manage it, and can't waste time worrying about it or thinking about it or getting down on it or dwelling on it. You just gotta obviously put out your best foot forward in this game to win, and then obviously the next game same thing, and that's my job to make sure that we have guys out. Now how you win the game regardless, who plays, what's the plan, and we've been doing that all year. It's difficult that we haven't been able to play the same lineup every game. The 3 games were, there was a period about 4 to 5 weeks ago where I said this is our best lineup and we're not changing it. And we've played that lineup 3 times. We won all 3 games. But then we've had to take guys out, Vitas out, we've had to take Maddox out, and then in this game other guys out. So would I've liked to be playing that same lineup every single game? Yeah, because we won all 3 games that we played our top lineup.
What is the injuries with Valeri and Dewsbury for?
Well, obviously he was out a week and a half during the international break where we didn't have a game, and he didn't train, and then he was fine. He was cleared to play, and obviously played the game, and then it got tight again on him at the end of the game, and he had to come out and wasn't able to train today.
Is Jack's
Jack is hip flexor. He's been struggling with it as well, but been playing through it. He got an injection in it yesterday, but neither one trained today. Neither one has been cleared to play in the game tomorrow. If they were cleared, they'd be in. They would be in the starting lineup because, again, for me, this is when I'm looking at the game. There's no more important game than this game tomorrow.
And Zemanski's lung, how the heck?
Zemanski, that kind of got lost last week, but he was out of training at the end of last week, and it happened the week prior. He actually got hit in the ribs. Just thought it was sore, and then he started to get a cough on the weekend when we didn't have training, and he trained Monday, Tuesday, and after training he went to our trainer and said, I feel like I have, a cold or bronchitis. I can't really breathe, and they sent him in to the doctor to get medicine for what they thought was a cold, and the doctor said he had a 70% collapsed lungs that he trained with for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and no one knew. So crazy. Never heard anything like that. So he was in the hospital for 3 days. They put a tube in him, filled up his lung, and he's supposed to see the doctor Friday. So most likely, again, he's out, which further compounds things because obviously with Jack out, you can't play Ben. That would have been a natural decision to play Ben. And then with Chara out on the weekend, same thing, Jack. And so we're very thin right now in a few spots. But that's, again, what we've been dealing with all year.
Does that mean maybe a formation change for these games, or?
Yeah, I mean, you guys will have to see. Ultimately, that's a big part of my job is to say, okay, what's our best lineup, looking at the opponent, and then ultimately what's the best system that fits the guys we have available. Perfect world, I would have played, again, the exact same lineup we had last game because that lineup for me is our best lineup. And we've won 3 games in a row with that lineup. And we won't be able to play that lineup in the next 2 games. Hopefully in the playoffs.